Here we go.
We're back.
New season.
Welcome to another riveting season of Kintsugi Conversations.
Woo.
Kintsugi is the time-honored Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold to highlight the beauty of imperfection.
We believe the same is true for life and motherhood, that transparent conversations can impact generational legacy in the spirit of Kintsugi.
We embrace our differences and brokenness in the everyday pieces of life because we can all turn our messes into messages and are each more valuable when repaired with care where before we were broken.
Welcome to Kintsugi Conversations.
Season 3. How does it feel?
It feels good. I feel like we've been away for a long time, though.
We have. I don't even remember what our last episode was about.
Neither do I. We just have to make sure we don't copy it.
The good thing, though, about this podcast and like the subject matter is that even if we talk about the same thing over and over, it's different.
It's because different views.
We are like forever evolving and forever reaching like different levels and stages in our lives. Like me as a parent, like the parent that I am this season is not the same parent that I was
That's true.
last season. The grandparent that you are this season is probably not the same.
That's true.
The wife that I am right now is definitely not the same wife that I was last season with like the huge transition that my family's going through. The wife that you were last season is not the same wife you are this season now that you have like pretty much permanently kind of ish moved to Boston. Whereas like last season you were still going back and forth and you still owned a place in Atlanta. So like, I don't know. I think that's the fun thing about this is that we can have the same conversation over and over again and it will be completely different.
There's always a different aspect to it because, like you said, we're always evolving and changing. Even like we can really talk about the same thing 2 days in a row and it'll still be different because we always come up with different views on how we see things.
Yeah.
The way I saw things yesterday is not the way I see things necessarily today.
So quickly, life updates. Do you want to go first or should I go first? I mean, I kind of know your life, but not always because you don't be telling me everything.
Yeah, I don't really have any life updates. I am, 90% in Boston now. I really like it. It's really, really chill. It's a transition, though, of when I do come to Atlanta, not having a home here. So that's kind of strange whenever I come. But I'm getting pretty comfortable in my little hotel nook now.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of becoming my second home. So
How is it for you being away from your grandkids? Because even though you've been away from them for longer than this before, usually we're abroad and you're home. So like we're not really like within reach, but like now having us home kind of like right here, but you're not right here. Like how is that?
That is weird for me. It's hard not because I'm so used to seeing them every day.
Yeah.
But it does help that Jackson now FaceTimes me every night. Sometimes in the bathtub, sometimes right after the bathtub. Harper used to do it, but Miss Harper's so busy now.
She's booked and busy.
She doesn't have time for her old Mimi anymore. But it is a different mindset for me, with me being the one that's away now and you guys being home.
Right.
And it's like, well, dang, if I had known y'all were coming back. But I mean,
you did know. I did tell you.
I know,
you just didn't believe me.
I didn't believe you. And, we talked about moving away or moving to Boston, but I don't know. For some reason, it didn't necessarily register or connect in my head that was supposed to be home.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit weird. But I have to say, other than missing you guys and not being able to like see you every day other than on FaceTime, because you and I still talk every day, via text or whatever. But it's still different not seeing you guys every day, which may be a good thing and a bad thing. You guys probably were sick of me anyway, but just didn't say so. But I do, I like Boston. I find that I'm a lot more, I want to say relaxed up there, because when I'm here, I feel like I'm always running. I'm always doing something. I always got to do this, got to do that. In Boston, I refuse to get a car. So if I need to go somewhere, I either have everything delivered or I will Uber. And, that's my life. So I don't feel like I'm always on the go. I always got to do this. It's so regimented. On days I want to do something, if I want to go to the mall or whatever, I'll Uber over. If there are days that I just want to stay in the house, I do that.
I imagine that for you, living in Boston must feel a lot like retirement. Like, whereas like this is home. And like a lot of people do that when they're like around your age, like in their 60s. Like they'll move to like Florida or somewhere to like retire. And I feel like for you, like moving to Boston is like your retirement. Like even though you weren't working, like retirement from like your day-to-day hustle and bustle. And it's like when you were here, like you couldn't not do it, because you're still in the same environment. But like moving to a different environment allows you to like shut it off. It's like the same thing people say like, oh, don't like work in your bedroom because like then you won't be able to shut it off when it's time for bed. Like it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like I said, I was so used to being so hands-on with, you and the kids that, for a while, I sort of got out of, I guess, grandparent mode and felt like I was more of a secondary caregiver or whatever. But now this kind of allows me to go back and be, strictly grandparent. I can come and play and, buy them stuff and spoil them and then get them all hyped up and I can leave them with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that you can. I feel like it's kind of, I see both sides of it because there are a lot of grandparents that are like very hands-on with their grandkids, and like that live in the same place, but there's some that aren't. I think that there's a space for both and a time for both.
Yeah, I just couldn't be in the same place with them and not be like hands-on. Yeah. That's just not my personality, I guess. So, but I mean, I'm still trying to micromanage your life and you're a whole 30-something years old.
Still get micromanaged.
So, but you try to micromanage mine too. I think sometimes you think you're the parent and I'm the kid now. So,
how do I micromanage your life?
Because you always tell me, you didn't answer your phone. Where were you? What were you doing?
I literally have not said that to you in a while. I be letting you live now.
Just because I answer my phone now. I try to keep it. Or if I miss your call, I'll call you right back. So, but you do. You be trying to micromanage me. It was worse when I was single. That you always, thought I needed a babysitter or whatever.
No, you did.
Had to check my whereabouts and whatever. But you have gotten a little bit better. But I do like that we still do like check in with each other, make sure everything's going good with our mental health. Because even though we're both married, we still sometimes need to vent about just wife stuff and just kids and family stuff. So,
well, and our husband are men, so I think that
they can't help it.
That's all that needs to be said. They're men.
Yeah, they can't help it.
Yeah. Let's see. My life. I feel like you say your life is pretty much the same. My life is kind of totally different than it was when we last checked in. So me and the kids are here in the United States full time, which is very different for us. Like this is the first year in forever that I've actually been in the country this time of year, that we're not, getting ready to leave. And then DJ, he's not retired yet, but he's like half retired, which is nice. And I mean retired from basketball, not like retired from work. But he played like a short season over in the Philippines. He's home now. He'll probably go somewhere else at some point in the season, but he's like not really in a rush, and he's really enjoying home life and starting to like really think and talk about the next steps after basketball. So that's a transition as well, that like not even just me and the kids are home, but like he's home or home more than he usually is. So that's been like the big major change over here. Harper has pneumonia. I mean, that's like a current update. She has pneumonia right now. Also, my mom paid her $100 to get a flu shot yesterday. So just to update you on how their relationship is, they're still going strong and very, very close.
Either that, or she had already taken my phone and had gone to Amazon. So, because I remember you telling her, okay, don't press buy. Don't press buy.
Yeah.
But,
because we're on a strict no toys until Christmas thing right now. However, now that she has $100 burning a hole through her pocket, I am quite sure she's going to be purchasing something this week. Other updates been going viral on social media. I don't know if you saw this post. I posted that which I just, between you and me, listeners, since you guys are, get all the behind the scenes. I didn't even actually hang up my degree. Like, I literally, for the video that is going viral, acted as if I was hanging it on the wall and, like, literally stuck it back in the closet. But the video was like, oh, I'm hanging up my degree diploma. Someone corrected me and was like, you don't hang a degree, you hang a diploma. Hanging up my diploma that people don't think I have since I'm a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. And so, like, some people are like, oh my gosh, this screams of insecurity. Like, why do you need to hang it up? Like, you have it. And of course, I'm not going to tell them I really didn't even actually hang it up, guys. This is literally just for a video. But I'm like, why does that scream of insecurity? Even if I did hang it up, like, that doesn't mean I'm insecure.
You work for it.
Yeah, like, we celebrate our accomplishments over here. And then some people are like, that's a waste. It's a waste of money. And then, like, someone was like, glad you have that degree to help you change diapers and fix your husband's plate. Like, people are so funny. And then on the flip side, there's people who are, like, sharing what degrees they have. And, like, this is great. But the post is still going viral. And so that's been a fun conversation to have on the internet.
People are so funny. And, it's almost like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And even, for me, I'm very, very quiet. I don't talk a lot unless I really know you and I'm really comfortable with you. But I like to observe. And I can't tell you, after having, like, some conversations with certain people telling me, oh, you're actually really, really smart. I didn't know you were smart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't get that. Just because I'm quiet doesn't mean that I'm not smart.
Right. People are just crazy because, like, a few months ago, it was me saying that I'm a stay-at-home mom, so my husband, like, pays all our bills. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, you're so lazy. Like, he's gonna leave you. Like, you bring nothing to the table. So, like, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're not educated, it's like, what are you gonna do if your husband leaves you? What are you gonna do if your husband can't work? And then now, like, okay, I am educated. Well, that's a waste of money.
Yeah, because you're not,
like,
Yeah, again, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. People always have so much to say about other people's lives that it really irks me. I'm like, if you spend as much time in your business as you do in mine and other people's, then we would all be good.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy tending to my business, your stuff is probably slacking. Mm-hmm. But, such is life.
And I think, like, the funniest part for me is that people really think that we care about what they think.
Yeah, and I would give two flips.
Because I'm like, okay, I mean, say what you want, but I'm like, ooh, like, that was a good one. Like, ooh, like, right. Hurt my feelings so bad.
Right. Like, I really don't know you, don't care to know you. You are obviously the one who's interested in my life since you're following me and looking for updates on
or,
my
like,
life.
even commenting. So I'm like, there is such thing as just seeing something and just
scrolling by.
past. But
I'm like, so this is your life. Your life consists of you monitoring somebody on the internet so that you can, like, make comments all day. So what are you doing with your degree, or what's your husband eating?
Yeah. And then someone was like, oh, like, Liberty University, like, that's like the University of Phoenix. I'm like, where's your master's from? Hey.
Thank you. Do you have one?
Crickets.
Yeah, people are always just so judgmental about other people. Just live your life, people. Please, just live your life and, let me live mine the way I want to. Because me, I'm like, oh, I'm old now, so I'm going to say and do whatever the heck I want.
Yeah, I'm always, like, honestly happy that you don't see when my posts go viral very much. Because you will be tearing these people up in the comments.
Yeah, I'm still Mama
You have
Bear.
time. You have time. Sometimes DJ does, and I'm like, it's really okay.
I'm still Mama Bear. It's probably good that I don't, like you said, because I'm still Mama Bear. And, oh yeah, you say something about my kid, my babies, I'm going to rip you a new one.
Yeah.
So, but see, me, I'm going to say what I got to say, and then I'm signing off. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put you in your place, and then I'm going to, like, okay, I said what I said.
Right.
Done. So, anything new with Jackson? Oh, I saw his new cowboy boots.
Yeah, Jackson has cowboy boots. He is obsessed with them and wants to wear them everywhere all the time.
Okay.
So he's a cowboy. He also goes back and forth between being a police officer and a criminal. Can't decide which side of the law he wants to be
We're going
on.
to keep him on the good side.
He is obsessed with Moses.
Okay.
And he likes to pretend he's Moses. And he's also obsessed with Shrek, really randomly.
Oh, that is random.
He watched it, and now he likes to pretend to be Donkey.
Oh, okay. So. Well, he's also very, straight line with this. Girls can do this and boys can do this.
Oh yeah, my son is
an alpha male.
I am raising a mini, honestly, I'm like, wait, am I proud or am I offended? I can't decide. Cause he literally one of my friends came over without her husband and he was like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
And we were like, she drove. And he's like, no, her husband has to drive. He thinks that we need permission and to be driven. I don't know if this is because he lived in the Middle East for a little bit. I don't know what exactly is going on, but he has a very strong opinions about things that women should or should not do.
Yeah, I know he and I were out somewhere and he went into a tizzy. No, I have to open the door. And so he stood there and everybody that was, after I went out, everybody that was going in and out, he was like, I got it. So he stood there and opened the door for everybody. Yeah. So I'm like, look at my little gentleman.
He also argues with his dad about whose wife I am, because apparently I'm his wife.
Okay. Okay, well, it says he's my superhero, so that's what he does. But you're right, he will hurt your feelings because he'll call me and I'm like, oh, Jackson's calling me. And he's like, hi Mimi, where's Papa Derek?
Yeah,
I'm like, so
he's a boy's boy. He really is.
You didn't call me. You just called to see where Papa Derek. Well, I said he's still at work. Well, how did he get there? I said he drove the car. Oh, okay. So you stayed home and Papa Derek drove his car? I says yes. Okay. So is he gonna come to Atlanta to see me? I'm like,
eventually.
Hello, what about me?
Yeah. So he's very much a boy's boy, and Harper is very much a girl's girl. So I got both,
Yeah. Here we go. So those are the life. And I don't think you mentioned that Harper's actually in kindergarten now.
Yeah, Harper's in kindergarten. All the sight words, all the handwriting, all the things. She's learning it. She's finding herself. I mean, finding yourself is a lifelong journey. I'm still finding myself, but finding herself in this stage of her life, I feel I feel like she's figuring out who she's gonna be throughout elementary school.
Okay.
She's definitely the kind friend. She told me that she's the one, if someone falls on the playground, the teacher's like, oh, Harper, can you walk with this person to the nurse's office? She's that person.
Okay.
And I think that fits her,
okay. How is she doing with her big feelings this year so far? A little bit better.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I'm like, wow, have we had any big feelings lately? Harper is very empathetic. And she's very sensitive. So, the thing that we deal with now is, it's you can't criticize her at all without her getting very upset. This morning, what was it? Oh, this is fine with me. So, she put on her skirt for school, and then she put on her undershirt, and she stepped into her undershirt, and then she was, struggling to get her undershirt up. And so I was like, Harper, it might be easier, I'm fine with you stepping into your undershirt, get dressed however you can, but it might be easier if you next time just step into your undershirt, put your undershirt on before you have on your skirt, because then you won't have such a hard time getting your skirt wrong. And I'm sorry, I did it wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to tell you that it might be easier. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to criticize you or, whatever, but she can be really sensitive like that. And so we're just trying to make sure that she understands that someone can criticize you and it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Sometimes you just take it oh, okay, thanks, and you move on. Either you do it that way or you don't. Right. And then similarly at school, if someone else does a good job on something and the teacher recognizes them for their good job, like that doesn't have anything to do with you. Because she's like, oh, this person got a sticker. And I'm like, well, good for them. And she's like, but I didn't get a sticker. And I'm like,
well,
there's a time and a place.
She does that with Jackson too, because sometimes, like, you know, you were telling me that Jackson ate a green bean because you know, Jackson refuses to eat a vegetable, and so I was like, yeah, you know, good job, Jackson. And she was like, well, what about me? And I'm like, well, Harper, you always do such a great job eating all of your vegetables, but she hasn't quite learned yet how to gauge that one person being praised does not mean that you're not still equally as good or whatever.
Exactly, and I think it's like. It's comparison at the end of the day, and I definitely don't want that to become like a thing for her. So I'm actually working on like a resource for myself and for other people on like helping our kids like fight imperfection, because we are like taught to like color in the lines and do this the right way, and there are a lot of things that we have to do the right way, like even working on handwriting at school, like I have to be super nitpicky with Harper, and I hate that I do, but because like at this age it does matter. You can't write in all caps, you have to write your letters between those little lines and all that stuff that honestly is dumb because we're all going to be typing anyway, but you know what I'm saying, you have to learn those lessons. So like there are so many things that you do have to do kind of perfectly. So like when there are things that we don't have to do perfectly, let's not do them perfectly. Like let's break that so that we don't become perfectionists like me and you know end up with OCD and anxiety.
Does not know that
Talk
parallel.
about that later.
She does not know that parallel yet. That's why I suggest, I'm like, let's do a imperfect messy day where, you know, just kind of show her, okay, so what, you know, your hair is not, you know, done, you know, strictly however, what if you have on a mismatched sock, you know, you still look nice, or just, I mean, just something that's not, like you said, always so regimented and it's always so like in the lines. Okay, good deal. I guess we're all caught up on everything that's been happening, not happening.
All caught up?
So
we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
What's that?
You guys got plastic surgery.
Oh. We got... Have we talked... Before we ended the season...
We were just going.
Were we talking about plastic surgery at all?
I'm not sure. But anyway, we both got air sculpt. I have always had this thing with my back. I've always hated my back. Because, you know, I've always been sort of a slender person, but...
Okay, wait. We have to rewind a minute back to the old school podcast. The OG, the Duo podcast. Because we did an entire episode about body image. Where we were talking about, like, body image issues. Things that our moms like handed down to us when it had to do with body image. And I want to think that we did an updated episode that for Kintsugi Conversations as well, where we revisited that now that I am a parent and like what I wanted to teach, you know, my daughter about body image, like what you taught me somewhat accidentally about body image and how that came into play. So I have to say, I had to bring that up because, you know, we have already self-diagnosed that you have some body image issues going on because you're talking about, you know, your back. This lady has been a size 4, 6 maybe for the last like 15 years, just to you know.
I don't like my back. My back has rolls on it, so I wanted to.
Oh, a roll!
I wanted before I leave God's earth. I wanted to be able to wear something that was completely like backless and not feel self-conscious about it, because I won't show my back, certain areas of it. I just won't. So that was my thing. I wanted to get my back smoothed out, and I also had. I don't have really hips or butt either, even though how hard I try. And so I had these things, they call it hip dips, where they kind of sink in on the sides, which made my butt look even flatter. So I had my back air sculpted. It's where they use like a really, really small like cannula. It's not like your old liposuction where they have to like make all these incisions and all this stuff. They're very, very tiny, very minute, and downtime is just like the next day you're back up and running. So I did my back, and as we were doing my back, she was like, "Oh, I didn't think I was gonna be able to get enough fat out of your back to fill in your hip dips, but I did. Do you want me to do those too?" And I'm like, "Yes, please." And for me, that was almost like a mini, I guess, BBL, because I never wanted like a big old bubble butt, but I did just want to be able to like fill out my, I want a little curve, a little pop back there.
Yeah, so adding, I think, to the hips, you can't really help but to add a little bit to the butt,
right,
to the hips.
So we did that, and I have to say, I'm quite pleased with the results. I'm not 100% sold on my back still, but I think my little booty looks cute.
Yeah, your booty does look cute. The funny thing is that originally, even how we found Air Sculpt is that I was halfway interested in getting like a mini mommy makeover, and I had seen a few creators work with a few different brands online that, do these types of things, and I was like, I wonder if, I could partner with someone and get this mini mommy makeover ahead of me and DJ's vow renewal in Jamaica, which that happened. I think that we have been talking kind of about that happening for like a year. That did happen this summer. And so I started like researching, and I had gone to a couple of different places, and you came with me for the consultations, like to talk about, mini mommy makeover options. And pretty much everywhere I went was like, oh, you should get a full tummy tuck. Like, go, be put to sleep, be under the knife, all that. And like, I was just adamant that for me, it does not feel worth the risk to be put to sleep to get any sort of cosmetic surgery. Unfortunately, we've all heard many horror stories about like what can happen, right? And there's always a risk if you're ever put to sleep for anything. And I'm just like, how could I live with myself? That's kind of funny to say. Like, how could I live with myself if I died? And,
From cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, from cosmetic surgery. And then, like, my husband has to tell my kids, like, yeah, mommy just wanted a flatter belly, so she's gone. Like, it just wasn't worth it for me. So I was, like, opposed to getting cosmetic surgery that would require me to be put to sleep, or that had like a lot of downtime, because I do have two very active young kids. And so in searching for like a less invasive procedure, that's how we kind of came across Air Sculpt. And then you ended up actually getting your consultation done before I even went.
Well, truth of the matter is, I had an appointment, I didn't tell you, the summer, like last summer, but then I broke my arm and I had to cancel.
So you've been keeping secrets.
And so
now it comes out.
Yeah, so, and I was torn between, Air Sculpt and Sonobello, which one was the best option. And, again, the whole not being put to sleep thing was like and no downtime was like the big plus for me in that area. And, went in, had my consult, and, came, told you all about it. And you were like, oh, well, I think I'm going to go and see what they tell me. Because I'm like, there has to be another option other than being put to sleep and being like cut. Because, years ago, you're 34 now? Yeah. When you were 3, I had a tummy tuck. And, with the whole put to sleep and the whole thing. Because back then, that was your only, option. So I'm glad now that things have evolved and there's like a different avenue for it.
So it was kind of funny when I decided, because my mom, first of all, had to convince me to move forward with getting the procedure done. Because although it is way, way less invasive than traditional lipo, like my mom was saying, like the cannula is tiny, it's just, you're not put to sleep at all, you're actually awake during the procedure. It is still a procedure, and there is still some recovery associated with it. And so she actually had to convince me to get it done. And we had this whole conversation because when I decided to do it, she was like, oh, but you said I was vain for getting it done. And now here you are, like, coming along with me to get it done. Because, even now I'm very happy with my results, by the way. But even having done it, I don't want people to feel like they have to do it to be happy with their bodies. You know what I'm saying? And I know that kind of sounds like I'm being a hypocrite when I'm like, well, yeah, I did it and like I love my results. However, like don't feel like you have to do it. But I do feel like that. I don't want people to feel like they have to reach this like perfect body and perfect standard of beauty. And like I think that's part of the reason that I am so upfront with sharing that I have had it done, because I don't want people to look at, you know, my tummy before and my tummy after and like think like, oh my gosh, like she's been in the gym so hard, how does she do that? Like, no, I want you guys to know, like I used cheat code, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want people to feel any kind of way.
It's a personal choice. There's nothing wrong either way, and your body is your body. It's just more of, like I said, I wanted to feel my clothes out a little bit more, and that made me feel better about myself. So it's whatever makes you happy and what makes you feel better about yourself. And you were also like, well, you know, I just don't know if I should. And I was like, Allison, you know, you're a mom of 2 kids. You know, you take care of your husband. You do all these other things. If this is something that you want to do solely for you, it's okay to be selfish and do that for yourself, because if it gives you an extra little boost of confidence, then that's going to exude with your husband, with your kids, with everything, and then that's going to make the whole family better.
Yeah, and that is something that I've seen. I actually had like a little sit down that I posted, I think on my TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or maybe all of the above. We will give you guys some sort of link to it. But I had a conversation with DJ on the side where I asked him like, okay, because he was not really, he didn't tell me like don't do it, but he also wasn't on board completely. He was like, okay, like I know you're saying it's less risky than lipo, but like what are the risks? Like you really don't need to do this. And just to back up, and this is like a whole nother conversation, we can get into this maybe in a second. I didn't really ask him, right? I told him, I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting this procedure done. Here is the information, and like, would love to hear your thoughts type thing. But like, by that time, I had kind of already decided to do it. And like, I think he knew that there was no swaying me. It wasn't like a yes or no conversation. It was more of a like, what do you think? Because like, you're my bestie, you know, that type of thing. But, you know, he was kind of like, you don't really need to do this. Like, are you sure that this is worth, even though it's not a huge recovery process, like, is it worth, like, the risk that could be associated with it, blah, blah, blah. And so after the fact, I asked him, you know, how he felt about the results. And he was like, you know, I love it. And he's like, but it's not even how you look. It's like, it's how you feel. He's like, I can tell that you are so much more confident and you feel like so much sexier. And he's like, for me, that is the part that is sexy, is like seeing that you have this like increased confidence, which I definitely do feel like an increased confidence. And I'm still going to the gym. Like I don't feel like my body is absolutely perfect even after going through that procedure. But I do feel like it actually has inspired me to work out more, because now I actually feel like it is attainable to have the body that I wanted. Whereas before I felt like there's no way.
Well, unfortunately too, once, ladies, I'm sorry, but once you have a kid, very few of our bodies go back to the way it was before.
Yeah.
So that's just a fact of life. You know, you're going to have that pooch, and that, you know, something is not going to be right. So it's a matter of, you know, how much I don't want to even say bothers you, how much confidence, I can't talk, will it give you to look, you know, similar to the way you did before or whatever. And it's not about like, you know, trying to look like Beyonce and all these other people. It's what's going to make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, and that's what I've been sharing a lot. Like when I do share about the procedure and that I decided to get it, and people have tons of questions about it, because a lot of people are interested in something that is minimally invasive, doesn't require them to be put to sleep, but does get them good results. And my number one thing is always like, as a mom and as a woman, we all have to do what is going to make us feel like our best selves. And even though I called you vain, and I still think you're a little bit vain, I do appreciate now that at the end of the day, you have always been just chasing feeling like your best self. And that, even though you might be a little vain, is all that matters, is that, you know, you feel as comfortable in your skin as you possibly can.
Yeah, I know I have body dysmorphia, but it's just that's my thing. So we're gonna just have to live with it. Yeah. I have gotten a lot better, I would say.
Well, I think it's because you're old.
Oh, gee, thanks.
I mean, you don't have a choice.
But I'm still cute.
You are still cute. So if you had to rate your air sculpt results, 1 being like, don't like them, like didn't really see a change, 10 being like, oh yeah, like where would you?
Probably an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably an 8, just because I'm just not still completely satisfied with my back. But I would say a solid 8.
Yeah. I would say for me, I'd say a 9 for mine. I got really good results. If you look at
your body is snatched.
Before and after. The only thing, and they warned me, they were like, you might have still a little bit of poochiness. They're like, because like that's going to be muscular. So like now I got to just do a million crunches and try to get, my core to get back strong after having 2 C-sections. And they were like, because we're not doing like a tummy tuck where we like tuck that skin, you might have a little looseness. So I do have like a little bit of that, but other than that, like I love my results. So I would say a 9.
No, I've seen you and I'm like, are you going with your husband with that on? Because your body is snatched, and DJ, no, he's not gonna call me saying whatever.
Yeah, he's a fan and I'm a fan. And then the AirSculpt experience, though, I would give a 10 out of 10. Like, I don't know if it's because I've had surgery before, 2 C-sections and a brain surgery, but like the procedure was honestly like a walk in the park. The recovery was not bad at all. The recovery was not bad at all, and I really didn't have any issues at all with like the whole healing process.
Yeah, me either. I give it a solid 10 out of 10 too. Highly recommend it. I have recommended it to some other friends.
Yeah.
So here we go. Well, I guess we're all caught up now. Is that? Yeah, I think that's everything that's been going on in both of our lives.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so before we close up, we are going to start something new this season.
Okay, do tell.
Where we are going to, with every episode, share a high and a low. And in true Kintsugi fashion, we're going to call it our broken moment and our beautiful moment.
Okay.
So since we've been playing catch up, like letting everyone know what we have been up to the past, few months, let's just share a broken moment and a beautiful moment, since we last caught up with everyone.
Okay. Well, my broken moment would be the fact that I am not here in Atlanta full time, so that I can see you and the grandkids every day like I have been doing since they were born, and seeing you every day since, for 20 years. So that would be my broken. I really miss, being so hands-on with them and seeing them every day. The flip side of that, my beautiful moment is when I do see them, I can be more of, Mimi, as opposed to being like the extra mom or, babysitter, nursemaid, whatever. I can like just come and play, and we can like enjoy each other and just have fun, rather than, everything being very, very regimented and almost like I said, almost like a surrogate mom to them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for me, my broken would be, and honestly, it doesn't really have a lot to do with me, but I am in a really good place right now, and things are going really well for me, like just in my life overall.
That's great.
And I have multiple like really close friends that are having a really hard season right now. And like this whole summer, it has been really difficult for me because I shared that Harper's an empath. I wonder where she gets it from. It's really difficult for me to like celebrate what's going on with me while also I feel guilty.
So
I feel guilty for being happy. Yeah, you completely stole it. And I feel guilty that everything is going so well for me when like a few of my close friends are like really struggling right now, and just kind of navigating that has been like hard, because like what do you do, what do you say, and that might be a whole episode we could have on like how to navigate that. But that is my broken moment. On the flip side, my beautiful is that like I had a really amazing summer. DJ and I renewed our vows. We had a couple of really good trips, and yeah, that was beautiful.
That's excellent. Well, I'm going to tell you, as your mom, don't diminish, your accomplishments and what you're feeling in the things that you're doing just because your friends aren't having the same season. If they're true friends, as the people that you have in your life are, because I know most of them, they are happy for you.
And they are. I know they are.
And celebrate you too. So don't feel guilty for, being in a good season while someone else is not necessarily in it, because we all know how quickly life can change.
Yeah, it can. And that's also really scary too.
So, pat yourself on the back and enjoy it.
Will do,
I'm
Mom.
very proud of you because you have done so much in the last year that you are, and I tell you all the time, you are a constant inspiration for me. And with your work ethic, your relationship, I mean, just everything that you have going on, and it makes me so proud to like watch you mature into this woman that you've become.
Well, I appreciate it. Love you very much.
I love you too, sweetheart. Well, I think that is the end of this catch-up episode of Kintsugi Conversations.
Thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. You can find us at Kintsugi Conversations. I think we're actually at Kintsugi.conversations now on pretty much any platform, including now YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel there as well to watch us have these chats instead of just listening.
Oh, that'll be something new. So that means I can't just record in my pajamas anymore, huh?
Still come as you are.
Okay.
Still come as you are.
Don't tell me twice.
Bye, guys.